Oh boy, Konami's done a little bit of an oopsie. Meet Master of Destiny, a skill that says when you toss a coin, the result will always be heads for the first 3 coin tosses. Pretty simple, right? It means when you activate a card like Cup of Ace, you're going to be drawing 2 cards as you're going to land on heads guaranteed. But if your opponent activates a Cup of Ace, he's not going to be getting to draw 2 cards guaranteed, as that would be pretty dumb. Similarly, if you activate a card like Head Judging, which forces your opponent to toss a coin, it doesn't always land guaranteed on heads, as again, that would be pretty dumb and defeat the purpose of Head Judging. Well, that normally works that way, but there's been a bit of an oopsie. There's been this brand new card released called the Paths of Destiny, and what this trap card does is it forces both players to toss a coin. Now, what you would expect from both players tossing a coin, it would mean you would land on heads, and your opponent wouldn't get guaranteed heads, as again, that would be pretty dumb. Well, that's not how it works. Apparently Konami hasn't properly coded simultaneous coin flips. How it's currently working is basically when you activate this trap card on your opponent's turn, they're getting the guaranteed heads, and you're not. And the reason this is such a big deal is because, like all bug abusers, it leads to a really stupid FTK. I'm sure you've heard of Nurse Burn before, and Nurse has just been added to Duel Links. What the Paths of Destiny does is when you roll a heads, you gain 2,000 life points, but when you roll a tails, you lose 1,000 life points. What Nurse does is when your opponent gains life points, they lose the same amount instead. So basically, if your opponent is always guaranteed to roll a heads whenever you activate this trap card, they're going to lose 2,000 life points. So 2 copies of this trap card, and your opponent is guaranteed dead. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This is just a meme, right? Just a silly little gimmick deck, just a for fun meme strategy. It's not actually a consistent deck, right? Right? Yeah, we've got a problem. So here's today's deck list. But, before we jump into the deck list, apparently 40% of people watching this aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are new around here and find yourself enjoying this content and think you might want to see some more videos from me in the future, please do remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. That way you can see some more interesting deck lists like this one from me in the future. Alright, so I won't be taking the credit here for discovering this deck list. This credit's going to go to a guy named Young Bay. I don't know if this guy was the person that initially created this sort of strategy or anything like that, but I did see his deck list on DLM, and that's where I saw the idea and copied it from, because that guy managed to reach King of Games using this exact deck list. So I thought I would give it a try myself, as surely he's just talking out his ass. No way he actually got cog with it. And I managed to climb from Legend 4 to Legend 5 with it, meaning, if I kept going, I would definitely reach Kia Games after a while. So as you guys know, the strategy behind this deck is fairly simple. You want to get your Nurse on the field, activate the effects of your trap cards, then give your opponent some life points, and of course, the Nurse then burns your opponent for the same amount of damage instead. And the only way this works is with the skill Master of Destiny, which of course guarantees the first 3 coin tosses, but is guaranteeing them for your opponent for, yeah, some reason. That's a very funny looking word of you there, but anyway. But the downside of the skill is meant to be, it forces you to play 7 or more cards that require coin tosses in your deck, which is a little bit awkward considering there's a lot of cards we don't particularly want to run, but we've completely just ignored that by running a bunch of fairy type monsters that all have coin toss style effects, and then playing cards from the sky, which allows us to banish a fairy monster from our hand and draw 2 cards, which normally has the downside of you cannot special summon or conduct the battle phase for the rest of the turn, but that doesn't matter in this case, and this thing is not a hard once per turn. So you activate this, banish these annoying little coin toss guys that are normally bricks, draw 2 cards, then you can activate another one if you draw into it, banishing another dude, drawing some more cards, and of course you've got all the other typical draw cards in here, such as your Cup of Ace, just draw 2, your triple Into the Voids, and of course we've also got Pot of Duality, because this card, it stops you from special summoning. This deck doesn't special summon, you just do one singular normal summon. We've also got your whatever the hell this card's name is, which is the Pendulum card you put in the field, pops itself to draw a card. And finally, we have your Banishment of the Darklords, because this card is actually a Darklord, so a single copy of this means you just thin your deck, draw a copy of this, and it feels, yeah, really goddamn good. So that's basically the deck list. Let's go check it out in some gameplay. Alright, so today I've got 7 replays to share with you guys. All were taken from inside of Legend 4 as I climbed into Legend 5, and you'll see that rank up match in here somewhere, as well as the little win streak I got as well. I think I went up to a 4-game win streak before dropping a game, so yeah. Obviously the main downside of this deck is going second, you're going to have a pretty hard time in most scenarios, but even then, in these replays you'll see me go second a couple of times, and if my opponent doesn't set up specifically a destruction effect, they are going to die. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Alright, because you can even play around things like Chalice and Droplet as well, if you have 3 trap cards in the field rather than 2. But either way, activating my Banishment of the Darklords, already got my Nurse in hand. Couple of A's guaranteeing my heads, drawing 2. That's one of my guaranteed heads done. Card the Sky, drawing 2 again. Drawing 2 again. Drawing 1. Alright, Anchamoufrite, whatever the hell this card's name is, drawing 1. Drawing another 2, absolutely going through my entire deck, and passing the turn with my 3 trap cards on field, and my Nurse on the field. Alright, during the draw phase, I'm going to activate the Paths of Destiny. Now keep in mind, it's better to activate them individually, not to chain them together, because then if your opponent activates something like a Droplet here to target this card, or not Droplet, but like even a Droplet or a Chalice or something, if they activate Droplet, don't discard a trap card, it's the same thing. But if they activate something here to try to negate the Nurse, you would just chain the other 2 trap cards and they would still die. So it's better to do them individually rather than all together, otherwise your opponent will chain to the last one and you'll just get your card negated. Alright. So using the coin toss here, and you'll notice, once it finishes loading, Red's coin toss. This player is red. My opponent got the heads, I got tails. That's not what that's meant to be doing, but anyway. So minus 2,000, once again flipping a coin. Once again my opponent got guaranteed heads, and I got tails. Minus 2,000 and he's dead. So yeah, this skill, it's in need, not even the skill, it just needs to be reworked or fixed so that it's working correctly for simultaneous coin tosses, because it's obviously meant to be only your coin tosses, otherwise cards like Head Judging would make no sense. And there's been plenty of times in the past where we were playing Head Judging with this skill, and it was making your opponent coin toss, and it wasn't guaranteeing heads, otherwise they would just call the trap card correctly and just be a waste of a card. So this card should 100% be not coin tossing for your opponent guaranteed. That is very silly. Alright. So once again, going to be drawing some cards here into the void, hitting a trap card already, cards from Sky, drawing a couple more, Banishment, grabbing my Nurse, drawing again. Keep in mind, by the way, you want to be using your Into the Voids first in case you do start to run out of cards in hand. Because obviously Into the Void requires 3 cards in hand. I don't even know if it's even possible to run out of less than 3 cards in your hand with this deck, but anyway, since the entire thing is draw. Alright, couple of A's, drawing a couple more. Alright, drawing a couple more and hitting the trap card. Alright. So this FTK, it can be done with just 2 trap cards, but it is definitely better to grab the 3, because of, like I said in the previous replay, if your opponent has like a Chalice or something here to try and negate this, if they try and chain it to the first one, they're going to burn, because you just chain the final 2 and they'll just get absolutely destroyed by it. Alright. Red, once again, my opponent getting the guaranteed coin toss. I actually got heads as well this time. Activating the second one. Once again, my opponent tries to Chalice this, I'll just activate the third one, he'd still die. Alright, both getting heads this time. On to replay number 3. Alright, so hopefully, I did save, I think, 2 going second replays. You can see that in some scenarios, going second, you can still just win anyway. As if your opponent doesn't specifically set up the way to remove the Nurse, they're going to have a bad time. And right now, there's a few decks that are setting up, like, I think it's a Raid Raptor. If they don't set up the trap card with the quick play spell, and they just set up, like, a full field of, like, their negate, their special summon negate, and all that kind of bullshit, and their flip face down for special summons, if they set up that kind of field, like the one I showcased in a video the other day, they're just going to lose, because those cards don't interact with just a normal summon. And Nurse doesn't actually activate an effect to negate or anything. They have to, yeah, have something to target it. So going second here, thankfully my opponent has just somehow not managed to end on an end field here. I don't know if that was I assume that was some kind of misplay. I assume he should be able to set up something here, but anyway. He's got one lot of back row set. So, a couple of ace, drawing a couple of cards. Couple of ace, drawing a couple of cards. That is 2 guaranteed heads used, by the way, so that is, yeah, a bit annoying. This means one of our trap cards actually has to RNG our opponent this time. But we've got 3 of them, so it's guaranteed then. Alright. Then during the end phase, he enemy controllers my card? I don't understand this. Like, again, it wouldn't have mattered if he did do it during his turn, because, once again, I'd activate the first one, then I'd chain the second one, and chain the third one. Although I had already used 2 of my guaranteed coin tosses, so it had to RNG the third burn card there. So if you use this correctly, like in response to, one of these, I actually would have had to rely on a coin toss, like on a non-guaranteed coin toss, actually. It didn't matter anyway, I still burned him. Alright. On to the next replay. So we've got four more, I think? 4 more? Yeah, I really hope... I think in like a tournament setting, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to play this, I don't think. But ladder setting, it is going to be a really gross deck to come across, as it's very, very hard to stop if they go first. Like, exceptionally hard to stop. It's basically reliant on them not getting all 3 of their trap cards, which, as you'll see from these replays, most of these duels were in a row, by the way. It wasn't like I was doing these, like, picking certain replays or anything. These were mostly in a row. Only played, like, 8 games or 9 games or something with this deck. Alright, burn him like, I literally just opened the nurse and the 2 trap cards, so just guaranteed coin toss, burn my opponent, guaranteed coin toss, burn my opponent, and he's dead. Pretty quick game, that one. Definitely fair and balanced gameplay right there. Alright, final 3. So hopefully I get to see, I'm not sure which one it is, one of these is the raid right to replay, it must be this one. So yeah, this guy set up at least 2 lots of disruption, or 1 lot of disruption. He had the other random rank 6 on the field for some reason. But he did set up the 3 negate, whatever it's called guy. Which this deck does not care about whatsoever. Right, Unbreakable Mind, of course, going to use his skill. He'll fast forward him a little bit. Lanius being summoned, summon the element from hand, these make you a 4-Strix. Special summoning, this guy did some, I don't know why he would end on this card of all things. I know it floats, but it's kind of a weird thing to end on. And there's his monster, ready to rank up during my turn. Alright, and he's immediately going to rank it up, so he gets his 3 negates on field, he's ready to go. Drawing 1, drawing 2, drawing 3. Oh my god, already got 2 trap cards. Drawing again, pot of Duality. Looking to hit the nurse now, because that's all we need. And we hit the Banishment, search for the nurse, and pray to god this trap card isn't anything useful. Alright, pass the turn. No monster effect used for this Dark Requiem, so activate our paths, activate our second one. Might as well chain them at this point because we can't dodge anything without the 3rd trap card, so... Once again, guaranteed coin tosses for red over here. And burning for... Another 2,000. Alright, final 2. Yeah, I don't think I really necessarily need to show you 7 or 8 replays, whatever I did for this video, but... I think you guys are going to get the picture by the end of it of what we're trying to do with this deck. It'd be really funny if this deck actually turned out to be something that was a problem during like the qualifiers or something. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure this little bug will be patched by then. It shouldn't be too hard of a bug to fix. It's literally just stop your opponent getting guaranteed coin tosses. That's not what it's meant to be doing. Alright, holy shit, that's a lot of card draw. It's so funny this card exists, it just makes it so that we can just discard these useless Arcana Force cards. They just happen to be fairies. Alright, there we are. 2 trap cards and a nurse. And once again, my opponent has somehow managed to roll a heads. What? How did... That's so unlucky for him. He did it again? Completely unlucky for the poor guy. Alright. And final replay. I think this was the rank up, I think, to get into Legend 5. This deck's fairly free to play too, right, as well, because it's got the box chip cards for the Into the Voids. The only card that's hard to get is the Darklord spell card, which you could technically just run a second nurse for instead. It's just better to play that one because it's better for deck thinning. But you could just play a second nurse if you wanted to. Or just play one nurse and just YOLO it. Oh yeah, once again going second. This guy had Successor Soul the entire time and just didn't use... I don't know why he didn't use it. I don't know, I think he just didn't know what the trap card did or something? I was very confused. So Into the Void, drawing, drawing, drawing. More drawing, even more drawing. Saying to and passing, and just didn't use it again? I'm very confused as to why he's not activated Into the Void. He's, Successor Soul here. Activate Pile of Destiny. He still doesn't use it for some reason. I'm like, alright, I guess I'll just use it again. Yeah, I don't know what this guy was thinking. After seeing the 2000 burn damage, you'd think it would have clicked to him, maybe remove the nurse from the field. But I guess he didn't bother reading what the nurse was doing. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully this deck will be nerfed before any sort of World Championship qualifier, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.